at the bus depot?
I gotta go someplace where I can get everything I love. Internet with 1 gig speeds. A home security system. A whole home DVR with thousands of shows on demand.
Wait, all those things that you love, I know people right here who can get you all of it.
Internet, TV, security, and phone. Get it all with Compori, your friendly neighborhood tech giant.
Let's go! Oh yeah! Reach for the sky. We go! Yeah! Yeah!
As you set your financial game plan, we'll be with you every play. Relax. You're with Founders.
Hey, I'm Carter Osterhaus from HGTV, here with some tips on heating your home comfortably and responsibly, starting with your heating system. Even on the coldest days, nothing keeps your home warm and cozy like a high-efficiency, Energy Star qualified natural gas furnace. You can actually feel how warm the air is, and that's because a gas furnace delivers air that's up to 25 degrees warmer than the air from a heat pump, and you'll have warmer air inside and cleaner air outside.
All right, Coach, thanks for being on. And why don't, since you're new, you introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, I'm Jeremy Smith. Yeah, I'm the new head football coach at Andrew Jackson. Super excited. My family's super excited to be here. We're can't wait to get started. We're about to get rolling, and so we haven't been here very long, but it's been a great experience so far. And we're like I said, we're super excited to be here.
Talk a little bit about your experience in coaching before you got to AJ.
Yeah, so I've been a couple places. This will be my going into my 12th year total coaching football or coaching and teaching. And I started. I played. I'm originally from the Spartanburg area, Upper State, South Carolina. Played and went to Dorman High School, and then I played college football at North Ryan. But my first coaching job was at Clover High School. I was there for 5 years. Good experience. I had worked for some very good head coaches there, some successful head coaches there, and we kind of built that program, built that program back up. It kind of went through a lull there, and we were able in our last year to kind of go back to the playoffs, and so we kind of built that helped do that, and then just to kind of a chance to get a little bit closer to Spartanburg, and I was contacted by Coach Lynn Fleming. He's the head coach at Broome High School. And again, another very good head coach, very successful head coach. And so I was there for 3 years. I've been along these stops. I've done, offensive line mainly, JV head coach. And, kind of I was able to get a little bit more coordinator roles at Broome, and a little bit more after that. I was able to be the offensive coordinator for 2 years at Sumter High School, and that was a great experience for me. Just first time being being a coordinator and learning under a really very successful head coach and Coach Barnes, Mark Barnes. I learned a lot. Great head coach, and he has a fantastic program there, and he really knows knows the guys I work for, including Coach Barnes, that they really did a good job of teaching me, and you could see it through their program of how to build it from the bottom up, right, and how to be successful and sustain success. And I was very lucky. And then Bowling Springs just kind of, it was one of those things where it was kind of a family decision, but we wanted to. It was closer back to Spartanburg, and but Bowling Springs was another. it's kind of a theme here. Some of the jobs I've been at, it's been kind of a program rebuilding in a way, and Bowling Springs was a little bit of that. Another great community. I've had some places that even though they're 5A schools, they're still the kind of that small town environment, and so that was kind of a fit coming here to AJ. But like I said, just through my experiences as a assistant coach and coordinator, I've had the opportunity to work, like I said, for some very good coaches and work with some very good coaches and be a part of programs that we help either start to become successful or sustain very successful programs. So.
I know we have you have a lot of coaches that are returning from last year. Is there anybody new or anybody else that's joined you in the last year?
Yeah, so we're pretty much returning everybody from the previous staff. There were two coaches that left. We added Coach Tyler Bradley. Tyler Bradley is our head golf coach, and he was already in the building. He's a PE teacher, but he'll be our running back coach. But yeah, and Coach Henderson's our Darren Henderson's our offense coordinator. Coach. We've kind of shifted some on offense a little bit. Tyler Stover will be coaching our quarterbacks. Darren also does receivers. Me being an offensive line guy, I'm kind of the designator, one of the designated O-line coaches. And defensively, we've got Kenny Samuels, DC, and Danny Wright, DL. And we kind of share linebackers with Damon Pate and Delmar Patterson. And we got some really good guys that are part of our staff and that play some key roles. Josh Usher, Nick Seegers. There's some guys, and Bruce. There's guys there that they've seen success here. They're from here. They know how it works, and so I'm very lucky to have those guys on staff.
I know you got into it, maybe a little bit later than if you'd been around all year. But talk about the summer and what you saw an improvement from your team.
Yeah. So when we came, we didn't get started. We got started right when we could in June, and kind of the first week of June there. Got an opportunity to talk to the kids, and I had seen and broken down a lot of film before that point in a hurry and just kind of looking at what they were able to do last year. And after talking to all assistant coaches, kind of seeing what they did good and what they thought they could improve on. The biggest thing that I saw was, just the mentality of, yes, we had success last year, but they lost a good amount of seniors last year. And so they had a lot of leaders on defense that have graduated and just, preaching and building our kids' mentality of we've got to sustain that. To be able to sustain that success, now we need new leaders to step up. Now we've got to be able to do this, and this to make sure we can sustain success. And so that was the biggest thing kind of over the summer is – and even, now going into the first week of the season, we are, we're trying to build as much leadership as possible. And that's the biggest thing right now is getting leaders to step up. And two, we're in a situation where everybody's got to play, and they got to play all the time in both ways and both sides of the ball. And so one of our biggest focus, which I think we've gotten a little bit better, but it's hard to get in shape and, throughout the summer. And I'm a true believer that you're going to play yourself into shape a lot of times because that's the way football is. But that was a big focus for this summer was making sure that we could get in shape.
Now, y'all have some scrimmages down. What did you learn about your teams during the scrimmages?
Yeah, so we were able to go to our first scrimmage. We were able to go to Camden. We scrimmaged Midland Valley there, and we scrimmaged Chester there. Even before that, during the 7-on-7s, we saw – some very, the biggest thing with me was competition, right? We were being very simple during the summer with schematically with what we were doing, but we wanted to see our kids compete. And that's the biggest thing, even in our early scrimmages, is our kids they've shown up and competed. And that's the biggest thing with us right now is making sure, we can fix mistakes. I tell them all the time, we can fix technique, we can fix schematic problems, but showing up and competing and going after and getting after it, that's from inside. And so that's the biggest thing we've preached to them. But yeah, we know we've got some spots that we're still trying to personnel wise, trying to fit here and there with some different players. And, offensively, we're pretty stable with the guys that we've got on offense. Defensively, we wanted see a couple guys in a couple spots and see what we could do there. But we definitely saw that, kids started to struggle as the scrimmages and things went on. Obviously with the heat and the limited amount of practice time we've had in the heat has been a factor in that. But like I said, our biggest thing is getting what we needed to come out of those scrimmages is injury-free, compete, and we get tape and fix mistakes that we saw.
I know you're excited. You're taking over a team that was really successful last year.
Yeah.
And what are maybe some differences that we might look for this year on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, we're going to be very, very similar. I've always been – I'm an OL guy. So we're gonna establish offensive line plays, and that's going to be a mentality of our offense. But it's no lie. We have Trey Thompson's a very good running back. Brady Williams is projected starter for quarterback, and he's done a good job throughout the summer and up to this point. We have some very good receivers that can be explosive. So we're going to establish the run. That's going to be a big part of it. We may be a little bit more, I won't say balanced, but you may see us taking more shots or things in the passing game. But we're going to establish the run. That's going to be a big thing for us. We're going to be very similar formationally, and it'll look similar. But there's some different nuances there of the way we teach different schemes. But like I said, it'll be very, very similar. What my mentality is, we're going to establish a run. I'm still old. If you want to call it old school, I think you got to be able to run the ball and play defense to win games. So that's just our mentality as offense, and we've got to be able to do that.
And on that defensive side, you mentioned you lost some big-time senior starters for that defense. Yep. What can we expect from them going into the season?
Yep, we're gonna have some young guys, and in certain spots we'll have some young guys. The biggest thing, we hope to make sure that we fundamentally get better throughout the season. I'm big defense. My philosophy defensively is we got to be fundamentally sound. We've got to fit our gaps. We got to be on being correct angles, and that's the biggest thing we're seeing that we've got to keep improving is just being fundamentally sound on defense. But we should see some guys, D-line wise, we're going to rotate a good amount of guys, but you're going to see staples like Hayden Williams, very good defensive end, tight end for us also. And we're going to have Tate Herbert down there, some guys who have played before. Even Caden Hornsby played linebacker before. And so we feel very confident on the back half with our DBs. They're a little bit older. We're a little bit younger in the box. And so those guys are going to have to grow throughout the year. And like I said, the big thing is mentally. Physically, they can do it. It's just mentally, can we continue to press, being fundamentally sound every single play, taking the right angles, being in the right gaps.
And people like to hear about offensive and defense, but football is about all three phases. Talk a little bit about your special teams and what you expect from them.
Yep. So Kurt Thomas Horton, he'll be our kicker this year. Kurt's a sophomore, but he's doing a very good job. We've been working, this summer and up to this point. So he'll be our kicker. He's done a good job. Marshall Deese will be our punter. Those two guys have done a very good job so far in the kicking game. The biggest thing with special teams and what we want to do is eliminate any sort of big plays, right? I mean, big plays are their momentum swingers in the game. And that's what we've tried to, everything counts, right? And a lot of times in high school, kids will take special teams very lightly and they don't put importance behind it. So we've just making sure we focus on, we're trying to eliminate big plays, create opportunities for ourselves. But main thing is, switch field position. Preach all the time, switch field position, make sure we put our offense and defenses in good spots.
And you mentioned a few names already, but talk about the leaders that you're expecting this year to step up and what kind of responsibilities you put on those leaders.
Yeah, we're very lucky that we have I could be mistaken. I think it's 14 seniors at this right now. But it's we've got and what we've kind of preached is, our seniors, we've kind of, from my day one here, we've said this season, this team will go how you want it to go. I've always, and it's a cliche, I guess, at this point, but, some of the best teams are they're player led. They're not coach led. And so, the big thing is we've tried to, not by what you say, but by what you do. And so that's the big thing of what we've been trying to preach to our seniors. Your actions speak louder than anything you're going to say to your teammates. And so the big thing is, instilling in them a work ethic, a mentality, a sense of urgency at practice and everything we do. And so we've kind of said that, with those guys that if, we're going to do some leadership things throughout the year to kind of help those guys along with that. But we've had some guys I feel that have stepped up and helped with that role. Bank Helms, great. I would say one of our better leaders when it comes to actions, right? Just doing what you're supposed to do all the time, and our players see that, and he goes competes. Brady Williams has done a great job stepping up. Hayden Williams has done a great job stepping up being leader. We've got some guys that are stepping up and kind of taking that role on. We're just trying to bring all that class along, bring our juniors along. But it's a thing that we've preached as far as it's what you do, and so we want to keep re-emphasizing that with those guys.
All right, and up this week, you are heading to Fairfield Central. Tell us what you expect from their team.
They're very good. They are very, very good. And we knew that going before we even got the film, and we knew that from what they had returned from last year, and so they're going to be very good. They stretch you vertically. Offensively, they are very, very explosive. The quarterback's a great player. The running back's solid. The offensive line solid. They will. You're not in the right spots defensively. You're not on the right angles. They will hurt you, and it'll result in a lot of points for them. So we've got to be very disciplined. I know that word gets used a lot, but we've got to be very focused when we start to get tired. And that's just early game things that happen. You're going to get tired. It's a little hotter. And so we've got to make sure we stay focused on what our job is defensively. And then offensively, our big thing is we just got to take care of the ball. The biggest thing we saw, we haven't had any turnovers, knock on wood, through our scrimmages or problems with turnovers, but just finishing drives. We had a very good scrimmage at Rock Hill. Was our last live action, and we just got to make sure we can finish drives. That's been our big focus. Offensively, and just execution all the time. Execute and pace. We're going to be a tempo. We're going to go slow. We're going to go fast. We're going to tempo, different tempos. But just making sure we can take care of the ball, finish drives. But the big thing is, defensively, if we can eliminate big plays, eliminate big plays, we feel good about it. So that's the big thing. But, yeah, they're very, very good. We're going to have a big challenge ahead of us. But we're looking forward to it. Players looking forward to it. They've been excited all week.
And tell our viewers why they should head out to Fairfield Central on Friday night and watch those Volunteers.
I mean, from the get-go, from day one I've been here through the interview process, this is an awesome place, and this is an awesome community. Anybody who knows anything about AJ, our fans are going to show up and they're going to show out, and I love it. There's high expectations that come with that. We all know that, but our fans are some of the best fans in the state, and they're going to be there supporting us. I want them to come out and see a good product. Our kids have worked hard. They've done what they're supposed to do, what we've asked them to do up to this point. And you're going to come out, you're going to see hopefully a very good product on Friday night, a very good game. And I just hope that, like I said, we can show up and be focused and do our job. But we have some of the best fans in the state. You're going to be on that away side stands, or you come from one of our home games. I mean, these people buy into family. We preach it all the time, family. We're #family all the time, and this is the place, man. The community, they're bought into AJ football and AJ athletics and the education part of it. So.
Well, awesome, Coach. Thanks for taking the time out and having a conversation with us.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Grant, what you doing at the bus depot?
I gotta go someplace where I can get everything I love. Internet with 1 gig speeds, A home security system. A whole home DVR with thousands of shows on demand.
Wait, all those things that you love, I know people right here who can get you all of it.
Internet, TV, security, and phone. Get it all with Compori, your friendly neighborhood tech giant.
Let's go! Oh yeah! Reach for the sky. We go! Yeah! Yeah!
As you set your financial game plan, we'll be with you every play. Relax. You're with Founders.
Hey, I'm Carter Osterhaus from HGTV, here with some tips on heating your home comfortably and responsibly, starting with your heating system. Even on the coldest days, nothing keeps your home warm and cozy like a high-efficiency, Energy Star qualified natural gas furnace. You can actually feel how warm the air is, and that's because a gas furnace delivers air that's up to 25 degrees warmer than the air from a heat pump, and you'll have warmer air inside and cleaner air outside.
All right, Coach. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Start with your name and all that, and talk about your new position as head coach.
Well, I'm Joe Watson. I've been at Buford for the past 5 years as a defensive coordinator for a couple, and then, obviously elevated to the head role. Before this, I was at Lancaster. I did 14 years coaching on the Lancaster staff under Coach Roscoe, Coach McMurray, and then the last with Coach Collins. And I've bounced, I've been around the state in anywhere from Columbia to the Georgia line. Actually, I did 2 years at T.L. Hanna, was offense coordinator at J.L. Mann in Greenville, same position at Keenan High School in Columbia, and coached a year at Fairfield Central. So I've been all over the place, which has really helped me to grow and to be prepared for this role that I'm in now. So I'm excited.
Talk about anything, the new coaches and people that we'll see on the sidelines for Buford this year.
We were fortunate enough to hire 2 new guys. Coach Lance Bennett comes to us from Pageland, from Central High School. He's going to coach the wide receivers, and he teaches science in the building. And we were very fortunate enough to get Coach Brenton Walters from Andrew Jackson. He's going to be the varsity offensive line coach, and he's the new strength and conditioning coach here. And we're looking forward and excited about both of those guys being on staff and the ideas that they bring to us.
And Coach, talk about how you felt your summer went with the guys. I know they lift a lot of weights and do a lot of other things. How'd you feel about your summer?
Well, when we got Coach Walters hired, he and I sat down and went through expectations of what I was looking for and his ideas, and we kind of married those 2 things together, which worked out from the jump really, really well. I was extremely pleased in our conversation, the first one we really had, and we were along the same lines in our thought process and what we wanted from the kids. We had over
Please pardon the interruption. This is a reminder.
We had over 70% of our kids make their total workouts for the summer, which is a big thing because our buy-in had to be, with the things that we want to do. And our numbers are never wonderful. You know what I mean? Just because of where we are, size-wise of the school. So we got a bunch of kids that play both ways. And if you count special teams, they're playing 3 ways. So the conditioning and the strength part of it was going to be a big deal. And I think our kids met and exceeded, for the most part, those expectations in the weight room.
And talk about your scrimmages. I know you guys played a few times before you got to week 0 this week. How you felt during those scrimmages?
Well, we went down to Sherrall and was involved in a 7-team scrimmage down there. And we scrimmaged Latta first, then Marlboro County, and then actually was supposed to scrimmage another team, but they left. So we wound up scrimmaging Sherrall, which a lot of people say, look, why'd you scrimmage them? You play them. We play them so late in the year, TJ, that, I mean, if you don't know what's going on by then, you're not really coaching. You know what I mean? So we just, Coach Poole and I talked, and we were just really looking for reps for our guys being the first scrimmage. I thought, for it being the first scrimmage, I thought we were okay. We didn't set the world on fire by no means, but we did some good things. And as with the first scrimmage, there's going to be things that you need to correct. So, and it's like I told somebody else, you don't go into the scrimmage game planning for anybody. So, you're just going to trust your assignment and go through with it. So, like I said, leaving that scrimmage, I thought we were okay. Then we were supposed to go to Louisville, and we got weathered out with that one. So we had to cancel that one. I got on the phone really quick and got Coach Surratt to come over the next day, actually, and hats off to him for arranging transportation to get over here. But we got really good work in that day. Sometimes I think misconception is from the fans that if you're looking at it, we're a mile away from where we need to be, when really it's really small. And it's the same thing I told the kids. We went back and watched film, and we cleaned up the mistakes that we had against Lancaster and came out in the Jamboree with the MUSC Jamboree or the Kickoff Classic and really looked like a different team. And I told them, I said, look, if you pay attention to film, and I talk a lot about the process, TJ, we don't look at the scoreboard ever. There's no need to. I'm focused on what I did the last play to the next call. So at the call in the huddle, what am I going to do to make me better for the next play? So we're not worried about necessarily the outcome as far as, and I know that sounds crazy, but again, we don't look at the scoreboard. We focus on the next play and what can I do to get better that play to make the team a successful play. We do it. We talk through it in practice as well. Again, we're not looking at anything that is in the future. What did I learn from individual that's going to take me to 7-on-7 or inside? And what did I learn from those two peers that's going to make me a better team guy? So team period. So that's what it is when we talk through the process. And again, it's the next thing, not the future, but the next step to get better. So like I said, I thought once we did that with the film session, that our Jamboree or Kickoff Classic was much better. And then, kudos to those kids too, that, we ran the ball in a quarter and maybe a third of the second quarter. We ran the ball for 150 yards. So, again, I told you earlier, we're going to run the football, play good defense, and win the special teams battle. And we feel like that's a formula for success. So,
well, you talked about a buy-in, and I know that comes down to the leadership you have on your team. You want to talk a little bit about who you expect to be your leaders this year?
Well, I'd be crazy if I didn't tell you every senior that we have, which is 6 of them, starting with Aaron Morris, Mason Dees, Michael James, Ricky McKinnon, Tucker Wallace. So those guys are, and Tucker's a first-year player for us as a senior who we got out from the soccer team who's going to start at corner and wide receiver for us, which, I mean, he's been a big plus for us. So that was, like I said, that's a big thing that we're hanging our hat on, is those seniors that want to step up and play. And I think they will. Matter of fact, I know they will. I'm excited for all of them's future this year as senior football players.
And let's move on to the week 0. I think it's funny that it's called week 0, but the week 0 games. I know the outcome wasn't exactly probably what you wanted, but I know your kids got some good experience. Talk about the message that you had to your guys after the game.
Yeah, you know, we didn't play all that well. Obviously, if you watch the film, you would see that. And people look at the score and think, golly, they didn't play good at all. There were bright spots in the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough of them. But I told the guys at the end, I said, look, what we're doing is not broke. We don't have to reinvent anything. We just got to go watch film and get back to the drawing board. And that was the message after the game, that today, moving forward, you know, when we get them in here at, 2 o'clock, 2:30, we're going to be in the weight room. We're going to watch film, and we're going to take what we learned from the film. Again, it goes back to the process. We're going to take what we learned from the film to the practice field and get better. And so that, I think that was the biggest thing, is I don't want anybody to think things are broke. They ain't broke, obviously, you know. We're just going to fine-tune the things that we need to fine-tune based off of film.
And talk about how you felt about your offense, what you thought they did good, and maybe what they can improve on. Well,
we gotta sure it up front. You know, obviously it starts up there on both sides of the football. And you know, there were some things that they did that we didn't see on film that, you know, we'll get corrected this week. And you know, I thought for the most part that our backs ran the football hard. Quarterback actually had a good game. I mean, he stepped up and, you know, being a sophomore, first-year starter, thought he played fairly well. He had one interception, but we kind of ran the wrong route on the interception too. So, you know, there was multiple things involved in that pick. But, you know, offensively, if we sure it up front, which I know we will, I have complete confidence in those guys. I mean, that's where we're going to lean on, is those big guys up front. And like I said, we're going to run the football. So, I mean, there's no surprise to anybody. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag at all. So, I mean, you know, but that's where we got to be.
All right. And talk about your defense. Again, what you liked from them, what they might need to improve on.
Well, our defense is going to be led by the two defensive ends. And again, I'm going to tell you, they're going to be all region, if not all state, both of them, because both of them can go. One of them is sophomore, Tucker Bone, and the other one is the senior, Michael James. And I expect big things from them. I thought they played fairly well Friday night. But we got to – if I'm looking at what we need to improve, our linebacker play has got to get a little better. And, you know, that's just me being honest. And I've already talked to coaches about it, and they know, and they're in agreement, and they understand. And, you know, it is what it is. Our linebacker play's got to get a little bit better, and we should be okay.
All right. And talk about your special teams. Sometimes that's the forgotten phase of football that people don't think a whole lot about. How did it do, and how's it got to improve?
Well, you know, our obviously our punt team was good Friday night, but because we didn't move the football as efficiently as we needed to. I thought Christian Griffin, he handles all of our kicking duties. He's a punter and a kickoff guy and an extra point field goal guy. And you know, he missed one. He missed an extra point, which I was surprised at. No, I'm sorry. He missed a field goal. I'm sorry. But at the end, that wasn't the reason we lost the football game. But, you know, Aaron Morris had a pick six to start the scoring for us and kicked that extra point. And then we drove the ball down the field for our other score and punched it in with the quarterback. And then I think there was a penalty involved, and we moved so obviously we moved up, and I just made the call, let's just go for two. And so we did and got it.
All right, and now let's talk about McBee. You got McBee coming up. What do you expect from their team?
Well, watching film, well, they're physical. Defensively, they're physical. Linebackers come downhill in a hurry, and so I don't expect anything different. I mean, they were in a shootout with Hannah Pamplico this past Friday night, and I think they lost 57 or 56 to 52. So They're in a different offense. They got a new football coach down there too, so they're in a different offense. They're a little bit of a wing T look, but it's a spread out wing. So, we got to read keys and get to the football. But I think, again, if we will commit to reading keys like we're supposed to read, I think we'll be okay.
All right, and I know this game's on the road, so why should all these guys come out and support those Yellow Jackets?
Oh, just because it's their school. We had some old former football players come out Friday night, and one gentleman was the class of '61. So it means a little something to this community, man. I told my first year in Lancaster County was 2005, and we played Buford that year when I was at Lancaster. And at Memorial Stadium, if you looked across from the home side to the visitor side, you know how big that place is anyway. But from the 30-yard line to the 30-yard line was slammed full of people. And, that was something that I told my wife, who's a graduate about here. I said, that's something that you don't get everywhere. So it's always been, if I'm being completely honest, it's always been a goal to get out here to be a coach and be a person in the building. So when that opportunity happened with Coach Watts 5 years ago, I jumped at it. But yeah, it's just why people should come watch, because it's their school, man. And that's what people do out here. They love Yellow Jacket sports, man. I mean, it is what it is. And I couldn't be more happy to be out here and to see them people in the stands when you come out of the locker room on Friday nights, on either at home or on the road.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, Grant, what you doing at the bus depot?
I gotta go someplace where I can get everything I love. Internet with 1 gig speeds. A home security system. A whole home DVR with thousands of shows on demand.
Wait, all those things that you love, I know people right here who can get you all of it.
Internet, TV, security, and phone. Get it all with Compori, your friendly neighborhood tech giant.
Let's go! Oh yeah! Reach for the sky. We go! Yeah! Yeah!
As you set your financial game plan, we'll be with you every play. Relax. You're with Founders.
Hey, I'm Carter Osterhaus from HGTV, here with some tips on heating your home comfortably and responsibly, starting with your heating system. Even on the coldest days, nothing keeps your home warm and cozy like a high-efficiency, Energy Star qualified natural gas furnace. You can actually feel how warm the air is, and that's because a gas furnace delivers air that's up to 25 degrees warmer than the air from a heat pump, and you'll have warmer air inside and cleaner air outside.
All right, Coach, thanks for being on again this year. Talk about any of the new people or coaches that you have involved in the Warrior program this year.
Well, one of the big things we want to do this year is really expand our program to enter in a B team. So we have a B team, a JV team, and then our varsity team. So and part of that is just kind of improving the infrastructure that can support, the extra team. So we were able to hire on some new guys. We're really excited about Jay Deaver, who played at Wake Forest, played at South Meck. He's going to coach our tight ends this year. Allowed us to move Rocky White to running backs. We have Bronson Green, who had been part of our middle school program. He's done a great job. He's assisted with our JV and ninth grade skill guys. Lester Terry, we hired. He'd been kind of around the district a little bit. He's worked with our ninth grade program also. And then hired Khalil Ward, who had been coaching in college, who's going to come in and help with our DBs. So really excited about our staff. We kept the nucleus of it together, which I think is important, and adding just really quality guys to help support it.
All right, and talk about your summer program and how your kids did during that.
Oh, they did great. We took our guys to Georgia, University of Georgia. We took them to on a trip to there. Went there, Georgia Tech, a couple of HBCUs. Went to University of Alabama. Came back. We did a 1-day trip to University of South Carolina. We just did had great numbers in the off season, pretty consistent around the 100 range all off season. So it's been really good. I mean, I think the kids have continued through year 4 really to buy in to what we have to do as a program to get to where we want to be.
And talk about any of the scrimmages and how you felt those went.
Yes, we had 3 scrimmages. We scrimmaged Pageland first, and then Clover. And then in Lancaster County Jamboree, we scrimmaged Metrolina Christian, which is a really good private school out of Charlotte. We want to see improvement every week. We thought every week, every scrimmage rather, we improved. We got better, which is the key part.
And talk about your leaders coming into this season, who you expect them to be.
Well, we returned 2 captains from last year, Jaden Singletary, who will be a 4-year starter, and Jackson Scheidt, so he'll be a 3-year starter. So I really thought those 2 guys have really set a high stage, a really high level of expectation. Guys like Tamir Hickman Collins, Jake Recker, Trey Rodriguez, Eddie Veneer, all those guys have really set a high stage. But we got a lot of young kids. We have 14 freshmen and sophomores that are contributing and playing a lot. So those guys have done a really good job too of leading and kind of bridging the gap between our young players and older players.
All right, and you guys kind of had a heartbreaker against Nation Ford on Friday. Talk about your message to your guys after that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because, when we walk in that game, we get up 28-14. We have a 17-play drive to kind of end the third quarter. Felt really good about it. And in that process, we are down to our 4th string running back, really. Both 2 of our inside receivers were hurt. So we were down to a lot of guys. And then Jackson Scheidt, who, again, has just been a great leader for us, gets hurt. And that just really hurt us offensively. We struggled. Put Sequel Patterson as a freshman at quarterback, who's going to be a really dynamic player. Played really well on Friday. Had a throwing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. So he's going to be a really good player. Is a really good player. But he made some freshman some game 1 mistakes. So it just for us was like, hey, we're going to be all right. You have tough games like this sometimes, and you got to look at little things and rebound and show back up, ready to work.
You touched on it a little bit, but talk a little bit more about the offense, what you liked from what you saw from them and what you think they can improve.
Well, minus that 4th quarter, we played pretty good football for 3 quarters, minus 2 drives. We thought minus 2 drives. We scored on the drives. We took care of the ball. We were able to be balanced. I think we had 161 yards rushing, 170 yards passing. So that's kind of the balance that we would like to have. I thought those guys did a really good job on 3rd down, which is a really big, important part to us, and did a really good job in the red zone. So those are the areas that we thought, we got to take care of the ball a little bit better. We got to take care of the quarterback a little bit better. And then we got to be, we had this one mistake that kind of cost us on a 4th down late in the game. But it had some snapping issues I think a lot of people had. But we really feel confident we're going to get those guys headed in a better direction next week.
One of the staples the last few years, I felt like, from Indiana has been their defense. What did you like from the defense on Friday night?
Well, they did a good job of kind of taking away some things that we knew they did well. We gave up 3 plays that was the majority of their offense. We gave up they had a Hail Mary at the end of the game. They had 1 play that was a screen that we just took a really bad angle to, and then they had a double move that we gave up. Just because of some technical issues, or technique issues rather. But other than that, we played really well defensively. I like to see us get a little more pressure on the quarterback. I like to see us create some turnovers, but they played really well. Really pleased with minus that those 3 plays.
And talk about your special teams, how they affected the play.
Yeah, last year we struggled to find a kicker that could help us, and this year we're really excited about one of our freshmen who's just doing a great job. He's 4 for 4 on extra points. Did a really good job on kickoff. Really feel like, that's going to be able to kind of elevate our game. Connor Frew did a great job at punting. And so really feel like we're heading, we're really improved in the special teams area.
All right. And this next week, you guys are traveling to Timberland. What do you expect from their team?
Really impressed with them, watching them play. They played Berkeley to the wire, and really impressed with them. They had some really good players. They got a kid, offensive tackle that everybody in the nation wants, and you can see why when you watch them on film. They got some really talented guys. They're returners. They returned a bunch of guys from last year, and you can tell they've grown as a team. Timberland's been a powerhouse in the 2A world for a really long time, so it's going to be a great challenge for us.
And tell our viewers why they should be traveling to Timberland this Friday to see these Warriors play.
Well, we're excited because it's going to be another opportunity to really showcase what these guys have been doing all offseason, and really feel like we're going to be able to rebound the right way. If a couple injuries that happened, a couple things didn't happen, I think this is a totally different conversation today than we had, but it didn't. And these guys have invested in that. They're investing in each other. And really feel like it's going to be a good football game that, hopefully we can continue to work in the way to come out and talk.
All right, Coach, I appreciate you coming on again this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Warriors.
Hey, Grant, what you doing at the bus depot?
I gotta go someplace where I can get everything I love. Internet with 1 gig speeds. A home security system. A whole home DVR with thousands of shows on demand.
Wait, all those things that you love, I know people right here who can get you all of it.
Internet, TV, security, and phone. Get it all with Compori, your friendly neighborhood tech giant.
Let's go! Oh yeah! Reach for the sky. We go!
As you set your financial game plan, we'll be with you every play. Relax. You're with Founders.
Hey, I'm Carter Osterhaus from HGTV, here with some tips on heating your home comfortably and responsibly, starting with your heating system. Even on the coldest days, nothing keeps your home warm and cozy like a high-efficiency, Energy Star qualified natural gas furnace. You can actually feel how warm the air is, and that's because a gas furnace delivers air that's up to 25 degrees warmer than the air from a heat pump, and you'll have warmer air inside and cleaner air outside.